Hello everyone. So today we are working on a trailer again with some soft floors. So as you can see here, we're just going to be taking a look at this one. This is a little bit of a different situation here. It has the laminate that was put on top of the linoleum, and then underneath the linoleum it has 3/4 plywood on top. And this one isn't your everyday regular floor. It is directly the bag that separates the outside to the inside here is right here. And then there's also framing that is level, flush with the bag. Okay, so this is a little bit different. It will go directly over top of the whole framing right across the whole floor, but it is falling in. It's diving down here and coming up. So falling right through here. So, and also in the bathroom, which you can see the fall down area here where everything is caving down. It is falling right down underneath the whole toilet and everything. So I'm going to be removing everything. I'll do this thing in step-by-step segments here so that everybody can have a good understanding of how this is done. Also, because the floor was built up a bit too high here, and it's like falling down, caving in here also. The floor was, you can see the difference of height here, and how it starts to go up taller here, and how it's starting to fall right down. So that's where it's falling right through the floor here. Okay, so let's take a look now. All the laminate flooring has been removed. Okay, down to the original linoleum floor. You can see the damaged areas where the water has been actually coming in under the countertop, the slide out from the roof down the walls, and has really rotted this whole area out. You see this a lot better, how far this floor has fallen. Okay. Let's take a look in here in the bathroom. This is completely caving in, and of course we have some mice living between the floor here, and everything has fallen, and it's just a very big slope that just drops down. Okay, so all of this is going to be removed, and you're going to see this in segments here, step by step, and how I go about fixing it. Okay, so we will see in the next set. Okay, so let's take a look here. The laminate has been removed, and also the original linoleum down to the 3/4 plywood. As you can see, everywhere is completely soaked and deteriorating, falling down here, that large slope that we're talking about. And then as we get further back, the plywood's somewhat decent back there, but everything has to be removed so that the new 3/4 will be one level floor, completely across joining from frame to frame. And you have a strong floor that has to slide completely under the walls so that the walls will have its original support, because as you can see the space underneath the walls, how much the floor has actually dropped. Okay? And, you know, putting laminate in a trailer is a very bad idea because it loves water from either way, from the bottom and the top, and it just does not, it just holds moisture in. But, you know, it doesn't help when your roof leaks. Always take care of the roof, and this will solve many of the problems in trailers that people are having. Sealing your windows up, also this is going to help. But as I go step by step here and getting the plywood in and everything back into its original form, you will see how this is done step by step. Okay, so we'll see in the next second. Okay, so let's get back in here now. All the wet OSB has been removed. There's just some light trimming that has to be done and cleaned up around the edges everywhere to accept the new 3/4 ply. You can see how far everything has dropped. So once the new plywood has been cut and installed now, everything will be back up to par. And as you can see here, you will see all the framing here, all the bumps, that's all your frames going across, which the plywood will sit securely on and be screwed down on. You can see the vapor barrier at the back here has been cut. There's a few little holes. Once the new plywood is installed, I'll be going underneath, and then that will be stapled back onto the new plywood and tuck taped and duct taped on to completely have a airtight seal completely all the way around. And you're assured that everything will be, airtight. So, in the future, this one here, it's a different application. This is more like a horse trailer style. The horse trailer has, a complete aluminum floor with plywood in. This one is got the vapor barrier on top of the framing, and then your plywood. So if you do have, a water leak coming in from the roof down the walls, immediately the plywood will get wet and start the process all over again. So it's always good to get the roof sealed and, solve these issues that are happening in many trailers. So anyways, we'll be doing this step by step, as I say, the install here, so that you have a good idea of how it gets done, and we will see in the next segment. So let's take a quick look where we're at now. Okay, so I have cut my rear bathroom piece already that will be fitting into this area here onto this beam, so half, and then the next piece will continue going this way. Okay, but the trick is to try to get this all in one piece, slid in under the frame. You can see I have cleared it out basically right underneath the frame, but you have a stack that's directly under the wall there, and there is another stack under here as well. So, the hole where the critters had got in, that's filled in with foam. That will just get pressed down over top, and it's filled in completely underneath. They can't get in anymore. So in the next segment here, I will show you, as I've completely put in this first piece here, just have some, small tools on hand to help get the piece right in and situated in a spot. And then, of course, once it's in, then this piece will go in and be screwed down to the back piece of the frame, which will connect to the round here of the port for the toilet to go into the tank. Okay, and it'll be all closed off with flooring all the way around, and it will be strong and good as new. Okay, so we'll see you in the next segment. Okay, now just to show you here, it has been slid in completely under the existing walls. Okay, directly under the wall. Okay, and we are basically par where we're needing it to go, and I'm actually going to just use the toe here of my boot to. Now, the only thing, we're just butting up against the frame at the back, so I'm going to have to do a little persuading with the persuading bar to get it to just pop up on top of the frame. Okay, but then you see everything will, as there's exactly the exact amount of space that when that goes up, that will be directly underneath the framing of the edge of the tub, and it's already underneath that side of the tub here, flush with the wall, but goes under the wall here. Okay, so I will show you in the next segment as I get this installed. Okay, let's take a look now here. After using the persuader to install the persuader is the crowbar, of course, we all know that. Okay, so as you see, and it helps to make sure your measurements are, pretty tight, dead on. Okay, these, of course, it doesn't just stop here. It looks like it, doesn't it? But it goes in directly under the whole frame and butts up to the old existing OSB. Okay, so that now the tub, the edge of the bathtub, will have something to screw down onto a solid piece. It also goes straight up underneath the complete tub. Okay, underneath all the walls around, completely solid, comes out, and it's halfway under this wall, and the next one will butt directly up to it. So now the space, because we had to cut out the C channel here so that we are able to slide the piece directly in, because this part could not unscrew. Some of them you're lucky you're able to unscrew them and you're able to slide right over it and then screw the flange back down, but not in this case. So anyway, after that, now then this piece will be installed. I can't do it with one hand while I'm holding the camera here, but that will be slid back in under, put screwed down, and of course there is frame right here to screw it down to. Once everything is screwed down, this will be a brand new solid bathroom floor, and this is the main area I'd wanted to get done first. It's a mathematical equation doing this when it comes to trying to refit everything back in. So there's going to be a small piece here across on this other frame, and then there's going to be a full piece going straight up underneath half the wall, coming back to this existing frame here to butt up to the old floor. This one was somewhat decent, but the rest of it was rotted under here. We do have the drain for the sink, so we have to cut around here. I have to make another slot going this way, so the piece will slide in under it, and it butts up against the wheel well, which is in there. It's kind of a little hard to see, but you can see it there. Okay, all right, and it will slide right under and be the same height underneath the cabinet here again, going all the way forward. And then the other piece over there at the front door will drop in beside it. And then after that, then, you know, the rest of it to get the other pieces in is pretty simple. Okay, so we'll do this thing step by step, and we will see you in the next segment. All right, so let's take a look here. The second piece has been installed now. Okay, that original piece that is screwed down, the other piece, of course, has been inserted and screwed to the existing frame. And of course, as I say, half on half, that side, and then the next one will butt right in here. Everything's fitting tightly directly under the wall here, butting directly up, completely directly underneath the existing frame, and with lots of extra underneath. And then the original flooring I will just cut back a little bit and then re-staple down for a perfect fit. Then of course right under here, because of course as I was saying before, underneath beside the wheel well, this whole area was completely rotted out. I've cut a path in here for the plywood. A piece will be put back into here and then foamed around here. Okay, and butted up to the original. This stuff is pretty solid here. It looks a little damp here, but that's okay, it's solid. Okay, and still nice and solid, completely under the original floor here of the existing cabinetry, existing flooring that was there previously. Okay, so everything is going smoothly, as you can see here. I've cut it to half. It's sitting half on this frame, half on the other side of the frame. That will be screwed down. The next one will butt. Okay, so this is the easiest way to get this in. It has to be done in pieces, but connected frame to frame. The next install will be this section right here at the front door, and I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, and there we go with our third piece installed now. You almost think you'd have a floor starting here now. Nice solid from frame to frame. Okay, very strong. Okay, and we are getting there. And the next install will be this section here. I'll try to do it in one full piece going all the way down, and one more to lock in that corner. Okay, so we will see in the next segment. Okay, so let's take a look now with the fourth piece that has been installed now. And inside this wall in here is a stack also for the shower. And there was a stack here on this side for the toilet. So a slot had to be cut so that the wood could slide. Had to put it in this way. In and slide it in under the wall with a slot that went directly around the stack. Okay, and in the last segment here, I said that I was going to try to put a whole sheet in, but the length to the back was more than 8 feet to the next piece of support that was going to be in there. The supports are about a foot and a half or so apart, okay, but at the very end, because as you can see, the floor is completely open right there. At the end of the bed, I'm going to be installing on the frame out there an angle iron 2 inches by 2 inch leg, and then that will be the support for the end of the plywood to sit on. In some cases, you have to do that because, you know, you don't have the exact other support that you can see way under there. It isn't close enough to the end of the bed. But in this case here, right here, in this whole area, even those are a foot and a half apart, in here is a tank. And there is no support in the center here. So what happens is this will have sponginess to it. So what we're going to be doing is installing these plates for sheeting and for building trusses. We're going to be installing these on here. Okay, and this should be plenty strong to hold the seam together. And they will go to sit down flush right into the wood, and the new flooring right over there, you'll never even know they're there. Okay, so we will see in the next segment here. This next piece I'm going to try and get installed in one full sheet in here, and I'll show you that in just a second. So here we go now. The fifth piece has been installed. Okay, fitting tight from frame to frame. Okay, and all the way to the end to the bed, which I was explaining in the last video. There will be a piece of 2x2 angle iron, 2 inch leg on each side that will give it the support underneath the bed so that the end will be supported. And of course, also in here, I'll be putting a piece of angle iron inside here also. But now this is 4 feet. Okay, so it wasn't enough to stretch. So underneath, I will be putting a strip in here to fit exactly all the way down and into here. Okay, so that you have a nice strip in here, but then there's a finished piece right here, which will drop in here on top of the flooring and everything, and you don't see anything underneath anyways. and then we have a nice complete solid floor. Okay, so there'll be some other little pieces. There's some soft areas just under in the cabinets here, and here where the ironing board goes, there's going to be a couple of pieces put in. But now this floor has been supported properly with no worries, with plywood instead of the original OSB. So we'll see in the next segment. All right, let's take a look now at the completed subfloor here. Okay, and in the last segment, the full sheet piece had been installed here, but the strip along the side here I had to put in, and that fit in very tight, okay, from frame to frame, locking everything in. Okay, and now it is time to get the complete floor screwed down into place on all the framing, and you will see that in the next segment here, along with a couple other pieces of plywood that have to be, this piece of floor in here has to be cut and covered with a piece of plywood, and so in that little cubby here. So I'll get that done. We'll see you in the next segment. Let's take a look here. I just wanted everybody to see the tack plates here that are holding that seam together, okay, and they work well. Okay, very strong. Okay, no separation. Okay, and then the next, what I wanted to show everyone was this area here where I'm going to be putting in the angle iron, okay, underneath to support the end of the floor. Let's take a look. Let's hold it outside. So underneath here, I have tuck taped that seam so that the bag is back and sealed watertight. Okay, and that is where the angle iron is going to be put in to support the floor at the end and underneath the bed. And it will connect to that existing frame and to this side of the frame here, okay, bent like an L shape and screwed to the frame, okay, which will come up, so it will be bent in here, okay, and that's what you need to give that area the proper support. Okay, so I will, as I'm getting the piece of angle iron in, I will let you see that in the next segment. Okay, so in the last part there, I had to get the supports installed in the angle iron, and I'm just sliding under the trailer here to show you. Okay, so in the corner, I put a 1-foot piece attached to the complete 5-foot piece that stretches all the way to the other side, and it's bent and angled correctly to support the complete bed and the flooring at the same time. So now I'm going back inside to screw the flooring down, the subfloor, to this beam. Okay, so everything will be solid and no movement. Now let me take you inside real quick here. Okay, so got a good handle on the flooring started already. And then the screws will be put in here to anchor the plywood subfloor down to that bit rail underneath. Okay, so when I get the flooring done, pour around in and everything, we'll see in the last segment. All right, and we are at the finished stage here now. All quarter round has been installed. Okay, everything back in its place. Flooring inside the cabinets, a little hard to see in there. Okay. Okay, all new flooring, and of course, the bathroom where the leak really previously started was where the floor was originally caving in under the toilet. The seal from the bottom of the toilet was not holding any of the water in, and it was flooding out under the original flooring, which really just continued and traveled the whole way, which caved in the whole floor continuous all the way through. So I hope this video has helped everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.